So today is the 25th of February 2026. Today I want to talk about a bit of an update of where the agency's at, but also about doing the right thing and doing the honourable thing and always staying true to yourself. So I haven't done one of these updates in a while. Things have been fucking crazy recently. So before we start talking about doing the right thing and how that works, an update on the agency. If anybody doesn't know me, my name's Alex and Joss. Most people call me Alexi. Run my own agency. Been running it 4 years this year, and I've been tracking my journey day by day. So the most recent updates is I've made 2 hires. They're both doing extremely well. We've really pumped up our ad spend, so we're doing 6.5k a month in ad spend, and we've booked 43 calls in 2 weeks with that budget, which is fucking insane. So absolutely buzzing with how that's going. And things are progressing. My main bottleneck at the moment is I just need to convert more of these calls that I'm taking. Simple as that. Nothing else to say on that. And yeah, aside from that, progressing well. Clients are getting results. I'm growing. I'm learning. So it's good. Now, in terms of doing the right thing and doing the honourable thing, um, I got into a relationship in December of 2025. So literally 2.5 months ago. And I hadn't been in a relationship before that for over 3 years, and that was kind of out of choice. Like I'd met a lot of girls, I'd gone out with a lot of girls. No one really ticked the boxes of what I was looking for, and I just also wasn't in a headspace where I felt like I could accommodate a relationship and give it my all, especially because of how much I was growing and how much I was going through in terms of like working a full 9 to 5 job, going to uni at the same time, and building the agency. And then when I left my 9 to 5, it was obviously about providing myself that bit more of stability and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't right, but I met this girl in September of 2025. Well, no, I started talking to her in summer. Met her for the first time in September. I'd known her my whole life. She was actually my first ever girlfriend when I was about 8 years old. So I've known her my whole life. And we just connected again. We got on really well. Things were going good. And I yeah, after we met in September, I started really liking her. We started really getting on. And then I had to leave. I didn't have to leave. I chose to leave to come to Dubai because I wanted to set up my life here. So I left, didn't think it would go anywhere. Ended up really staying in touch with her and staying connected with her. And because of that, she then ended up coming to Dubai in December with her friends. And I spent some time with her on a more personal level as well. Got to know her. And by the end of that time of that trip in December in Dubai, I was like, fuck it, let's go for it. Let's get together. Let's make it official. And we did. I came back home a little bit earlier to spend more time at home with her and my family. So I met her family. She met my family. We spent time together. It was intense. We've done a lot, right? We've done a lot of stuff together, and we grew really close, and we had an amazing time. I came back to Dubai in January of this year, obviously. I was here for 4 or 5 weeks, and then she came out, and she came here on the 11th of Feb. So 2 weeks ago today, she got here. She wasn't meant to leave until Sunday, coming, but she's already at home. So I'm not going to share the whole thing here because it's her stuff and it's not to do with me and it's not fair to share it. But essentially, long story short, we were living together. Things were going brilliant. She just had a switch, and I said some stuff which triggered her and reminded her of a past ex. And it sort of brought up for her, made her realise that she had sort of past traumas and undealt with traumas, so to speak, with this past ex. And because of that, she got herself in a state of panic, a state of overwhelm, and she got up and she left and she moved her flight, which to me was an absolute like shock. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how have we gone from having the best time being in this little love bubble to you're fleeing the country because of I said something that reminded you of him. I've not even done anything. And she knew that. But anyway, she left. And to me, I found it hard. It was like a hard pill to swallow. I was a bit upset about it. Obviously, as well, because we had such a nice time. I put so much into her, and we were getting on so well. So it was sort of hard to take as well that it switched so quickly. But she left. I was upset when she left yesterday morning. And yeah, that was it. And the way I sort of left it was I said to her, like, at the time, I said to her, like, look, have your space, let me know what you want to do. And she's sort of saying that she wanted to decide whether to stay together or not. And at first I was like, okay, look, I want to be with her, I'm enjoying it. I'll give her a space to decide. once she left and I cooled down and the emotion went past it, I really had some time to reflect and think on it, and reflect on the fact that I truly believe that everything in your life happens for a reason. Like, every little detail of my life over the last 4 years has got me to this exact point, and I wouldn't change a single thing that's happened. And every single thing that's happened to me has happened for a reason. No matter how hard it's been, no matter how shit it's been, no matter how much I've not liked it, it has happened for a particular reason, right? So I really took some time to reflect, and what I sort of realised and gathered after the reflection of spending this time with her and this thing happening was, actually, she wasn't truly what I wanted in a girlfriend and in a relationship. And that wasn't because of what she did and how she reacted, but what I took some real time to really sit with myself and think about it. And what I realised was with her is she was a beautiful girl, like absolutely stunning, like 10 out of 10. It's one thing you couldn't deny. No matter what walk of life you're coming from, she would turn your head if she walked past you. But yeah, like I say, what I realised very, very quickly was I had stayed in this relationship and decided to stay with her because of an ego play. And I knew deep down, before any of this happened, even when I first got with her, I knew deep down that it wasn't right. I knew deep down that there weren't things that didn't fully align. And I knew deep down it was more about how it made me feel and how she made me feel, rather than me knowing that it was right, if that makes sense. And so I just realised very, very quickly, like, I don't think I'm doing the right thing for me here. And I think I knew that on reflection, I stayed in that relationship out of pure ego for myself and pure understanding that it made me feel good, and I liked how it made me feel, and I liked having the unbelievable girl with me, and I liked how it stroked my ego and how people perceive me because I was with her and all of this stuff. And essentially what I realised pretty quickly was that was a superficial reason to stay into it. And look, there was a lot of other stuff, but again, I don't want to disrespect her because she didn't do anything wrong, and I haven't got any bad blood for her. And I don't want to sort of share everything of what my thought process was. But essentially, long story short, I realised that extreme action that she took helped me to realise that I'd been hiding a lot of stuff or pushing back a lot of stuff which I didn't like, which didn't align, which I knew wasn't right, but I let it run and I let it carry on because I liked how she made me feel. And I knew deep down, long term, it wasn't the right thing for me, and she wasn't the right person for me. Although I had such a great time with her, I had so much fun. Like I say, I've got nothing bad to say about her. This was more about me personally and how that reaction sort of made me reflect on it all. But the reason I'm making this video to get to the point, which I know is a long way in, and I hope some people are still watching here, but is that I stayed true to myself in this situation. Now, the easy thing to do would have been to stay in this relationship. Like I say, she's a stunning girl. She's a head turner. She makes you look good. She makes you feel good being with her. And like I say, it would have been a big ego play to do that. But I'm not somebody who allows my ego to dictate my life, and I'm not somebody who you'd really know I have an ego, if that makes sense. And I know, once I had that reflection and once I said it out loud, when I spoke to my mum and spoke to some friends and stuff, I knew that deep down, if I stayed in that relationship, I was in there for the wrong reasons. I wasn't being true to myself, what I wanted, and I was settling. And one thing I definitely am not doing in this life, and this whole journey that I've gone on, is I'm definitely not settling. That's one thing for sure that I've promised myself I will not do, is I just simply will not settle. And I guess the point of this story is, and the point of this lesson, this thing that I've taken from it, is that always do the right thing. Whatever situation you're in, no matter how good or bad it is, you're going to know what the right thing is to do, and you're going to know what the bad thing is to do, or not even a bad thing, but maybe the wrong thing for you in your journey. And I don't even know if I mentioned it, I've sort of gone off track, but I broke up with her yesterday when she landed. I called her. Obviously, she was still deciding, but I was like, look, I've made my mind up. No bad blood, but this is just the right thing for me to do, and we shouldn't carry on with this. But, again, the purpose of me telling you this is because you always have to stay true to yourself and what you know is right for you. And if you always do that, if you always do the honourable thing, you always stay true to yourself, and you always walk around in life knowing that you're doing the right things for you and you're being honest to what you want, and you're not getting drawn in by these negative sort of hooks like ego and other things like that, that's how you succeed and that's how you will progress in life. And I think especially for like entrepreneurs, I think it can be hard to find a relationship and find someone that aligns and matches with what you want. And there was a lot of good things about her, right? Like I say, not just her looks, but she was very understanding of what I did. She was very appreciative of my journey and how hard I'd worked and all of this stuff. So there was a lot of things that tick boxes as well. It wasn't all bad. Definitely not. But I think because it's hard as well for entrepreneurs, I think anyway, to find somebody who truly aligns with you and who you are, because what we are and what we're doing is the 1%, is exceptional, isn't the norm. It's harder to find somebody that isn't the norm and fits in and ticks all of those boxes. So I think as well, when you're building your own business, it's easier to sort of stay in these things because it's easier at the end of the day. It's easier, it's safer. You don't have to then go on another hunt to find somebody else and see if they align and all this stuff. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. The right decision is sometimes the hard decision, but that decision can make or break you, your journey, who you are and what you do. And I know deep down, if I stayed in that relationship and I allowed myself to keep going through that, I wouldn't have been truly happy and fulfilled with myself, and I would have been settling. And like I said earlier, one thing I'm not doing on this journey is I'm not settling. I've not settled for anything in my life so far. I broke up with another girlfriend at the start of this journey because I felt like I was settling for that, and I knew I could do more and better, and I knew she wasn't going to align with the life I was about to build. I didn't settle for my good 9-to-5 job that was paying for me to go to uni and paying me a good wage at the start. I didn't settle once I'd left my 9-to-5 job and I was making decent money. I kept pushing and growing my income. I didn't settle in England, a place where it would have been comfortable with all my friends and my family there, because I knew that that would cap my growth. I'm now in this high-rise in Dubai Marina, something that a few years ago I could only dream of, and I'm in a situation now where I'm very grateful for, and I'm very appreciative of the fact that a lot of people would do a lot to be in my shoes right now. But again, I'm not settling, so that's me. I want to keep pushing, I want to keep growing. Like I say, I want to have this worldwide reach and this worldwide impact on the world, pretty much, and on people around me. So in order for me to do that, I need to stay true to myself in every way, shape or form. So as hard of a decision it was, and I don't know, I'm not upset. I miss it, and I don't even know if I miss her. I just feel like I miss the having the person there, if that makes sense. And that's typically the case when you end this stuff, when you know it's right. Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I'm not upset. I think it's just more I'm still shocked that she packed up and left, and how quickly it's changed. But again, the other learning from me for this whole relationship was extreme. It was all on extremes. It was on a real high in September when we were meeting, then I left, and it was extreme that I just disappeared. We waited two and a half months to see each other again. Then we met, and it was extreme. We were doing extreme stuff, going to all these best places. Then I asked her out, and she was my girlfriend. Then I came home early, met all of her family. She met my family. She met my friends. I met her friends. Again, all of this extreme stuff, and it ended in an extreme way as well. So again, lesson for anybody else who maybe might experience something like this is that if it's extreme, all of it's going to be extreme. That means the good and the bad, and that's not a good thing, especially for when you're an entrepreneur. And don't rush into it. I rushed well too quickly into this. I got shiny object syndrome. I was like, shit, this unbelievable girl wants me. I'm going for it. Locked her off quick, and didn't really take time to truly understand her and who she is. I got to learn about her, but not as deep as I should have. So yeah, there's my update for today, and that's the lesson in this video today for anybody entrepreneur, no matter where you're at, is always do the right thing. You'll know what's right, you'll know what's wrong. Stay true to it, and there we go. There's the update for today.